Welcome to the In Love with PMDD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist, and I help you stop the monthly PMDD breakups. PMDD is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It is in approximately 1 in 5 women, and it makes you want to break up with your partner approximately 1 to 2 weeks before your period every single month. So as someone who has suffered with PMDD for over 18 years, I dedicated my doctorate practice to helping partners navigate those monthly PMDD breakups with everything from attachment styles, triggers, sensitivity to noise, sensitivity to touch, all of the things that you really struggle with when you're in PMDD. And I also dedicated my dissertation to a phenomenological study of the relationship experiences of partners of individuals who suffer with premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So I'm not just here to help the sufferer, the one who is suffering with PMDD. I am here for the partners as well. So if you need those private sessions, make sure you go to inlovewithpmdd.com and get those tools. So let's get into this week's PMDD trauma transformational tools that is going to help you stop the monthly breakups and stop the suffering and stress in your PMDD relationship. Let's get into it. And of PMDD, and today, sweaty mess. Today, I want to talk to you about what to do when Today, I'm going to talk to you about what to do when you're triggered by your PMDD partner. I want to talk to you about a common mistake that PMDD partners make, and that is ignoring the trigger. So a lot of times when you're triggered by your PMDD partner, you think that you're not supposed to say anything. You think that you're not supposed to express that you're triggered. You think that you're supposed to hide it and pretend that you're not triggered. And that's the right thing to do. But what happens when you hold that trigger in? What happens when you don't talk about what's happening when you're triggered by your PMDD partner is you end up blowing up and you end up going into PMDD rage. And if you're the partner that doesn't have PMDD, you end up having a lot of bitterness and resentment. So I just got off of a client call, so I wanted to just share this with you. So many times when you're triggered, there's a reason why your PMDD partner is triggering you. There's a reason why that specific thing that they did triggered you. So what I want you to do is ask yourself, before you talk to your PMDD partner, just ask yourself, why am I triggered? Why does this specifically upset me? So a lot of times when I used to get triggered by my ex-PMDD partner, it was hurtful words, right? And that had to do with my childhood trauma, things about me. The reason why the things that your PMDD partner are doing are specifically triggering you because it's triggering something inside of you. And this is for the partner that has PMDD and for the partner that doesn't have PMDD. So what I want you to do is ask yourself that question. That's number one. Number two, once you figure out that the issue is within you, meaning there's a specific reason why this thing is bothering you, that's an unhealed thing, right? So for me, it was because my childhood trauma was still there. You know, a lot of times when my ex-PMDD partner used to yell at me, it used to remind me of my dad. It used to remind me of my dad, you know, yelling at me, cussing at me, telling me I wasn't going to be nothing. Like there was so much inside of me that was angry about a past situation that when my PMDD partner was angry with me or was yelling or cussing or something, I went back to that moment. So I want you to recognize the anger that you have for your PMDD partner and see if it really is subjected for that specific situation. So has your partner ever said something or done something specifically during PMDD and you got way angrier than the thing that they actually did? Like you really, really, really brought up all of this anger and you're looking back at the situation, you're like, why did that make me so angry? Why was I so triggered by this specific thing? It's because that is your thing. I want you to recognize that. And I do this for all my private clients. Know what your thing is. My thing is hurtful words. Like when I'm in a relationship, I can't have someone that is going to continuously say hurtful words because that's my thing. For I have a lot of clients where rejection sensitivity is their thing. They can't have their partner shut them down, you know, emotionally or physically because that's tied to something that happened with them. So when you figure out what your thing is, if you figure out why certain things trigger you about your PMDD partner, then you can say, look, babe, my thing is hurtful words. I can't have you say hurtful words to me because it takes me back to this moment in my past. It takes me back to some childhood trauma. It takes me back to past relationship trauma. So you communicate that to your PMDD partner and let them know why it's bothering you so much. Because so many times when you're triggered, by your PMDD partner, they may not understand why this thing bothers you so much. Has your partner ever said to you, what's the big deal? Why is this bothering you so much? Why are you so triggered by this? And it is a reason for that. So once you come to the conclusion of this particular thing that my partner does triggers me because of this, right? So for me, I had to say hurtful words trigger me because of my childhood trauma. So you turn it into a mantra so that when you communicate it to your PMDD partner, they're understanding why they shouldn't do this thing. They're not looking at it surface level and say, I'm the problem, and thinking that they're just the bad guy, right? Has your partner ever said, I just feel like the bad guy. I feel like I can't do anything. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I feel like everything I'm doing triggers you. I feel like I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know what not to say, what not to do. Explain to them, this is my specific issue and this is why. So for past clients, I've had, I can't have you shut down on me physically as far as intimacy is concerned. When you don't show me intimacy, when you don't show me love, then I feel rejected. I feel insecure when you don't, you're not physically open with me. So let your PMDD partner know, I specifically get insecure because when you reject me or you shut down on me and we're not able to be intimate, I feel like there's something wrong with me. It impacts my self-esteem. It impacts how I see myself. Explain that to your PMDD partner, because a lot of times once your PMDD partner recognizes that the thing that triggers you doesn't all have to do with them, they're not completely the bad guy, they're not doing everything wrong, they're not doing everything malicious, then they're going to have a deeper understanding and say, okay, I'm willing to work with you. But if you make it seem like your PMDD partner is the problem and everything that they're doing is wrong, they're going to feel attacked. They're going to get defensive. They're going to start asking you, well, what about you? Didn't you do this? And didn't you do that? They're going to start pointing out things that you've done to them. And then you're going to get into this place where you're bumping heads and it's almost like you're attacking each other, or you're trying to prove who's worse, who's done the worst thing. But remember, you are a team. It's not about who does the worst thing or who's bad at it. It's about communicating, and let your PMDD partner communicate to you. Let them tell you what bothers you, because a lot of times when you're in PMDD, there's things that you're doing, there's things that you're saying, and it's really impacting your PMDD partner, but they need to have a safe place to be able to say, babe, this is triggering me and this is why. So they're taking accountability and understanding that it is triggering me. When I am triggered, it is my responsibility to regulate myself. It is not my PMDD partner's responsibility to regulate me. Of course, you can ask for your PMDD partner's support, but it's not their responsibility. PMDD is not your fault, but it's your responsibility. So this is why I'm always giving you the tools. I'm not just telling you what's wrong. I'm giving you the tools as to what you can do about it. So when you recognize, as soon as you are triggered by your PMDD partner, I want you to get into that place of discovery and start asking yourself, why is this triggering me? Why is this really bothering me, right? That's the first thing. And the second thing, you're letting your PMDD partner know, I am triggered because. I'm triggered because. You're letting them know the reason why you're triggered. And if it's because of a past relationship, if it's because of a past trauma, let them know what it's tied to so they can get to the depth of your pain. And so they're less likely to continue that behavior when they know that it's tied to something else and it's not all about them. You want to get them out of that space of making your PMDD partner feel like the bad guy. Some people have a really hard time taking criticism from their PMDD partner, and rightfully so. And that's because they don't want to hurt their PMDD partner. They know that they have good intentions. So when you're going to them and you're saying that you're doing this and you're saying that you're doing that, they're like, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to trigger you. And they may not be, but you have to be in a place where you can lovingly say, give them the benefit of the doubt. Give your PMDD partner the benefit of the doubt and say, babe, I know that you don't mean to do this, but this is how I'm feeling. That's what I want you to get into the habit of doing when you're triggered. I know that you're not meaning to trigger me by, by getting angry and saying these hurtful words, but for me, I'm feeling a little offended right now. I am feeling, use I statements. I am feeling triggered, because you're taking responsibility for the emotional state that you're in, and you're asking your PMDD partner to help you. You're saying, babe, can you just help me right now? Because, I understand that you're trying to communicate something to me and I want to hear what it is that you have to say. But right now, especially while I'm in PMDD, I'm just getting really triggered by this. And then you just ask your PMDD partner, what's really bothering you? Because a lot of times there's something deeper that's really bothering your PMDD partner that's causing them to act out of character. And you want to address and get to the root of what's really bothering your PMDD partner instead of getting stuck in that place of blaming the behavior. Figure out what's really going on. So these are the tools that I can give you when you initially feel triggered by your PMDD partner. So I'll see you tomorrow. We got this. I hope this PMDD episode helped you and your partner in your struggles within your relationship. And if this is something that you know that you need help with and you need further support, individualized support, make sure you're going to inlovewithpmdd.com and you're getting those private sessions to really work through what you're going through in your relationship, specifically in regards to PMDD. And also, I want you to leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. What this does is it helps other PMDD sufferers and partners find this show that can help them get these free PMDD relationship tools. I remember what it felt like to not know that there were tools out there specifically for PMDD relationships. So I want to make sure that you are sharing these tools with others, share them on your social media, share them with people that you know that are also struggling in their PMDD relationships. Until next episode, this is Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist. One more thing, I almost forgot. I now have the Fresh Start PMDD Partners Workbook. What this workbook can do is if you've had past traumatic experiences with your partner, past fights, past arguments, and they keep coming up every single month in PMDD, I created a Fresh Start Workbook so that you can deal with all of the traumatic experiences that have happened in the past in PMDD rage and all of these things so you can stop going through the same cycle again and again and again. So get that workbook. It comes with a video episode of the actual podcast that I recorded on getting a fresh start in your PMDD relationship. So you're not continuing the same cycle again and again and again. So make sure that you get that workbook. And if you need those individualized counseling sessions, you know where to go, inlovewithpmdd.com. Until next time, we got this. Love you.